sprinkles, Santa Claus's special elf. Because everything is special with sprinkles. Santa Claus knows you're special too, and he has something to say to you. So listen close as Santa Claus shares holiday cheer with you. You can leave a special message for Santa Claus and get on the nice list at www.santaclaussays.net. Now here is the big man himself, Santa Claus!
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas to all the children of the world, children of all ages, from every continent, every place in the world. Welcome to Santa Claus Says and to my workshop where all the good things happen here at the North Pole. SantaClausSays.net is the place to be where I listen to you and listen to what you have to say to me, and I share with you 3 things every day during the Christmas season of 2023. They are spreading Christmas cheer, they are telling a great Christmas story, and reading a letter to Santa. So that's what we're going to do here today. We did want you to know that you can always go to SantaClausSays.net, and that is the place where you can leave me, Santa Claus, a message. You can leave me a voice message, and I will get your voice message, or you can leave me a text message, which I will get right here on my purple cell phone, and I get those right there, and I will return your text message, and I can also get an email. If you want to send me an email, please do that by going to SantaClausSays.net/present, and I will send you a Christmas present through the email. So that's what we like to do here, and to spread Christmas cheer, tell a story, and to read a letter to Santa. There's our Glockenspiel. That's our beautiful chime that Twinkles gives to us, which tells us that it's story time. And we've been reading the story called The Life and the Adventures of Santa Claus by L. Frank Baum, who also wrote the book, The Wizard of Oz. And many of you are familiar with that, your moms and dads and other people are familiar with that, or through the movie that's been around a long time. And a lot of the story has some similarities, and we're reading a part of the story each day during the Christmas season. So if you miss a bit of the story from our previous episodes, please go back and listen to those. And understand that every day during the Christmas season, we're going to be reading a part of this book, so you don't want to miss any episodes of Santa Claus Says. Our episode title today is, and we did want you to know that the book, The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, is brought to you courtesy of the folks at the Gutenberg Project. So we thank those folks. Our chapter today is chapter number 7, which concludes our part of the whole book about the youth of Santa Claus. And it's called Claus Leaves the Forest. Let's begin. When good Queen Zerline had touched the golden chalice with her fair lips, and it had passed around the circle in honor of the traveler's return, the master woodsman of the world, who had not yet spoken, turned his gaze frankly upon Claus and said, "Well?" The boy understood and rose slowly to his feet beside Necile, and once his eyes passed through the familiar circle of nymphs, every one of them remembered as a loving comrade, but tears came unbidden to dim his sight, so he gazed thereafter steadfastly at the master. "I have been ignorant," said he simply, "until the great Ak in his kindness taught me who and what I am. You who live so sweetly in your forest bowers, ever fair, youthful, and innocent, are no fit comrades for a son of humanity. For I have looked upon man, finding him doomed to live for a brief space upon earth, to toil for the things he needs, to fade into old age, and then to pass away as the leaves in autumn. Yet every man has his mission, which is to leave the world better in some way than he found it. I am of the race of men, and man's lot is my lot. For your tender care for the poor, forsaken babe you adopted, as well as for your loving comradeship during my boyhood, my heart will overflow with gratitude. My foster mother here, he stopped and kissed Nasile's white forehead, I shall love and cherish while life lasts. But I must leave you to take my part in the endless struggle to which humanity is doomed, and to live my life in my own way. What will you do? Asked the queen gravely. I must devote myself to the care of children of mankind, and try to make them happy, he answered. Since your own tender care of a babe brought to me happiness and strength, it is just and right that I devote my life to the pleasure of other babes. Thus will the memory of the loving nymph and seal be planted within the hearts of thousands of my race for many years to come, and her kindly act be recounted in song and in story while the world shall last. Have I spoken well, O master? You have spoken well, returned Ak, and rising to his feet, he continued, Yet one thing must not be forgotten. Having been adopted as a child of the forest and the playfellow of the nymphs, you have gained a distinction which forever separates you from your kind. Therefore, when you go forth into the world of men, you shall retain the protection of the forest, and the powers you now enjoy will remain with you to assist you in your labors. In any case, in any need, you may call upon the nymphs, the ryls, the canucks, and the fairies, and they will serve you gladly. And I, the master woodsman of the world, have said it, and my word is the law. Claus looked upon Ak with grateful eyes. This will make me mighty among men, he replied. Protected by these kind friends, I may be able to make thousands of little children happy, and I will try very hard to do my duty. And I know the forest people will give me their sympathy and help. We will, said the fairy queen earnestly. We will, cried the merry ryls, laughing. We will, shouted the crooked canucks, scowling. We will, exclaimed the sweet nymphs proudly. But Nasile said nothing. She only folded Claus in her arms and kissed him tenderly. The world is big, continued the boy, returning again to his loyal friends, but men are everywhere, and I shall begin my work near my friends, so that if I meet with misfortune, I can come to the forest for counsel or help. With that, he gave them all a loving look and turned away. There was no need to say goodbye, for by him the sweet wild life of the forest was over. He went forth bravely to meet his doom, the doom of the race of man, the necessity to worry and work. But Ak, who knew the boy's heart, was merciful and guided his steps. Coming through Brazil to its eastern edge, Claus reached the laughing valley of Hoheho. On each side were rolling green hills, and a brook wandering midway between them to wind afar off beyond the valley. At its back was the grim forest. At the far end of the valley, a broad plain. The eyes of the young man, which had now reflected his grave thoughts, became brighter as he stood silent, looking upon the laughing valley. Then on a sudden, his eyes twinkled, as stars do on a still night, and grew merry and wide. For at his feet, the cowslips and daisies smiled on him in friendly regard. The breeze whistled gaily as it passed by, and fluttered the locks of his forehead. And a brook laughed joyously as it leaped over the pebbles, and swept around the green curves of its banks. The bees sang sweet songs as they flew from dandelion to daffodil. The beetles chirped happily in the long grass, and the sunbeams glinted pleasantly over the scene. Here, cried Claus, stretching out his arms as if to embrace the valley, I will make my home. That was many, many, many years ago. It has been his home ever since, and it is his home now. That concludes chapter 7 in the first section of the book about the youth. And we'll go on to the next section of the book in our next episode, which will be chapter 8, the title of which is The Laughing Valley. And we got a bit of a preview of the Laughing Valley there at the end of that chapter. That's a wonderful book, isn't it? I hope that you'll continue to join me as we continue to read the book, The Life and the Adventures of Santa Claus, during the entire Christmas season of 2023. There's our our chimes, our glockenspiel, which comes from our friend Sprinkles, who tells us it's time to do our letter to Santa. Before we have our letter to Santa, a reminder that you can send me a letter. You can send me a note. You can send me an email or a voice message. You can do all that at SantaClausSays.net. You can send me a voicemail there. You can send me a text message, which I get on my purple cell phone. You can send me an email at SantaClausSays.net/present, and I will send you a present back. You can do all those things, and I will be glad to hear your wishes and everything that you're all about, and I will respond to you. Now it's time for our letter to Santa, and here it is. Dear Santa Claus, this is what I want for Christmas. I want a sleeping bag, a pink nightgown, Monopoly, bracelet, necklaces, and a new bed. That's what I want for Christmas. Love, Deb. Love, Debbie. P.S. Why do you come down the chimney? Answer, please. Debbie was a little bit demanding there, wasn't she? Well, here is the thing, Debbie and everyone else. I have magical powers which allow me to come into your home. And what I love more, the magical powers that you have, is that you can leave me hot cocoa and cookies. And I love that so much. I hope that you'll do that for me on Christmas Eve. And remember to write me and let me know what your Christmas wishes are at SantaClausSays.net. There is our glockenspiel. There is our note, our chime from Sprinkles that tells us that this is the conclusion of this episode of SantaClausSays.net. We want you to know we're here every day during the Christmas season. We're here to give you three things: Christmas cheer, a great and wonderful Christmas story, and to share a letter to Santa. You can do that and share things with me, and I will respond to you at SantaClausSays.net. Please remember that Santa Claus loves you and listens to you, and Santa Claus says all the time, Santa Claus says, be good for goodness sakes. Goodbye, boys and girls. We'll see you next time here on Santa Claus Says.
You're special to Santa Claus, just like Sprinkles. Get on Santa's nice list at SantaClausSays.net and watch Santa Claus Says on YouTube. Tell him Sprinkles sent you.